The Polesetter is a rugged and versatile full-capacity steel track carrier that is engineered to work in extreme off-road conditions. Its compact design makes it easy to transport and easy to operate via remote control. To ensure safe and efficient operation, before starting the Polesetter, conduct a careful walk-around. First, check your safety equipment. Is the fire extinguisher full? Is its locking pin intact? Ensure that all the lights on the Polesetter are functioning. Next, inspect the hydraulic hoses for leaks or abrasions. Check the condition of the boom for loose bolts, worn brackets, and any other signs of excessive wear. If your Polesetter is equipped with a man bucket, check the mounting for signs of damage. Now check the tracks. Are they in good condition with proper tension? Are they clean and unfrozen? Also check the rollers. Ensure that they are clean and able to spin freely. Check the fluid levels. The Polesetter runs on diesel fuel only. The 40-gallon fuel tank should be at least half full to ensure that the machine will continue running on steep slopes. The hydraulic oil should be clean, and its level should be above the screen found underneath the cap. Also check the antifreeze level. Pull out the engine oil dipstick and check the level. During cold weather operation, on Tier 3 engines and below, the fuel can be cut to a 60-40 mixture with diesel number 1 or kerosene to lower the freeze point and prevent gelling. In the battery box, you'll find the cold weather starting package, which includes 2 batteries, as well as the relay for the glow plugs on the engine. The main power fuses are also located in the battery box. Next, check the accessories. Are the drive wrench and the Kelly bar adapter in place and secure? Check the 25-ton pintle hook hitches on both the front and the back of the unit. Look beneath the frame for the Holy skid plate that can help break suction should the Polesetter get stuck in deep mud. Check the grounding bars located on the outrigger's front and rear. On the front of the Polesetter is a 30,000-pound winch, which is operated by the track remote. Check that the winch cable is intact and wound correctly. There should be no kinks or broken strands. In an emergency, the E-stop button, located on the front right outrigger, can be pushed to deactivate the winch circuit from the front station. The Polesetter's remote control storage box is located within the toolbox. Inside, you'll find 2 remotes, extra batteries, and a charger plug. The charger outlet is located within the toolbox. There is 1 remote control for the boom controls and 1 remote for track drive. As a safety measure, only 1 remote can be operated at a time. Each must be turned off when not in use to prevent radio interference and to conserve batteries. Return the remote controls to the storage box when they are not in use to prevent damage. Avoid exposing the remotes to wet weather if possible. The remote control battery should last 2 to 3 days. Use the batteries completely before recharging. 1 hour of charging time will charge a battery to 3/4 capacity. 2 hours will charge a battery completely. The control box houses the remote control electronics, as well as components for several other Polesetter features. On the front of the control box are 4 controls. The key switch turns the engine on and off. The E-stop button turns off power to the control box and to the engine in the event of an emergency. Select Track, Off, or Boom with the selector switch. The engine speed switch allows the operator to select the engine speed in track mode only. To shut down the Polesetter, turn the selector switch to Off, the engine speed switch to Low, and the key switch to Stop. Then, push the E-stop button. Both the boom and the tracks can be de-energized with the key switch. Inside the control box, you'll find 2 fuse panels. The bottom fuse panel remains energized to power the engine control module. The terminal board provides a voltage reference point for each function when troubleshooting. Relays operate boom power as well as both the backup alarm and the outrigger alarm. The Polesetter uses AW32 hydraulic oil, which should be stored in a dry place to maintain its dielectric properties. The hydraulic tanks should have positive pressure and should burp when the cap is vented. For cold weather operation, turning on the tank and track heaters is recommended. During hot weather or during high-pressure operation, such as digging in rock, a cooling fan kicks on at approximately 100 degrees Fahrenheit. If a leak should occur, use the shutoff valve located beside the tank. Current machines have one main valve manifold that operates all functions. There are manual overrides in case of emergency or for maintenance. Because the tools have their own dedicated circuits, they can be used while the boom is operating. During setup, the Polesetter's tracks should be on the ground at all times. The balance point of the machine is at the center of the tracks. Drive brakes are the spring-lock hydraulic release type. The drive brakes are the only braking mechanism on the Polesetter. Tracks should always be firmly on the ground. Ensure that there is no drift. Good traction is the result of proper track tension. To ensure the correct track tension, observe the sag in the track between the rear roller or drive sprocket and the top carrier roller, or the sag on the forward section of the track. Sag should be 3/4 of an inch from straight. Adjustments can be made with a straight edge and a 10,000-pound grease gun with a high-pressure end fitting. The grease fitting is located in a pocket on the track housing forward of midline. In rugged or muddy terrain where better traction is required, track teeth can be inserted to improve the Polesetter's performance. Add only the minimum number of extra teeth required to enhance traction. Start with the outside ring and then move to the inside ring. During operation, tracks should be kept clean and free of debris around sprockets and rollers. When operating on snow-covered terrain, tracks often collect snow and snowballing may occur. This is a dangerous condition that can cause the machine to slide out of control. During cold weather operation below 25 degrees Fahrenheit, turn on the heat to prevent the tracks from freezing. The internal pipe that is welded around the top of the track housing provides heat to the tracks to help prevent freezing and snowballing. Before deploying the outriggers, look for a compacted, stable surface. Stay away from trenches, excavations, and signs of poor ground conditions. 2 outrigger control stations are located at the rear of the Polesetter, one on each side of the machine. To operate hydraulic tools, a tool circuit switch is located in the right control station. Lower each outrigger being careful not to lift the tracks off the ground. Stability of the machine should be tested by carefully lifting a load with the boom in an elevated position. Always lift with the boom, not the winch. The hydraulic overload protection system protects the boom by repositioning it for better leverage. When not in use, always park the Polesetter on flat terrain, never on a hill. Before operation, ensure that the tracks are clean. Remove any debris. When working on hilly terrain, never walk downhill of the machine. Maintain a safe distance and watch for slide potential, especially in mud, snow, or ice. And never ride the machine. If your company requires a minimum approach distance, set up visible barricades to your worksite and equipment. It is important to properly ground the machine when working on or near any lines that are live or have the potential to be energized. When lifting, raise poles with the boom, not the winch. When using the boom, work as closely to the center of the machine as possible. When the boom is in line and over the hole, lower the boom and winch to place the pole. In many cases, the route into the work location will not be the same as the route out of the location. Plan the best route for the machine by walking the proposed path in and out of the worksite. When offloading the Polesetter, keep the truck bed as level as possible and drive the machine straight off with minimal turning. When loading the machine, stand at the rear and line up the tracks with the edge of the truck bed. Use the slots in the front and rear of the machine to attach the tie-downs. To avoid slipping, check that the tracks are free of snow and mud as much as possible. When beginning setup, remember that the outriggers are not used to elevate the tracks. The tracks are the primary braking mechanism, especially when operating on a hillside. The outriggers are used only to stabilize the machine. To initialize the remotes, go to the control box and select the desired function for the proper remote. On the remote, turn the power on. Ensure that speed control is set to slow, engine RPM to low, all joysticks to neutral position. The winch switch is centered or off, and the track speed is on low speed. Pull or twist the remote e-stop to set its function. Push the green or black Initiate button on the side of the remote. For the boom remote, a siren will sound when it achieves sync. For the track remote, the in-sync status light will illuminate once it is synchronized. Set up the machine with the work downhill. This orientation will prevent boom runoff. Work should be performed along the right side and back of the machine to prevent interference with the hydraulic tank and to ensure that the hydraulic tool circuit reaches the pole location. Keep the load over the machine when rotating the boom. When handling boom loads on a slope, most work situations will have the front of the machine uphill and the work location downhill behind the machine. A pole can be winched into place with the boom winch and cradled with the pole claws, keeping the pole and boom in an elevated position. Rotating the boom in its lowered position can cause damage to the hydraulics and rotation gear if the boom runs off. Raise the boom to its most vertical position. With the load over the machine, rotate the boom until it aligns with the work location and lower the boom to set the pole into place. The Polesetter is not designed to operate in water levels higher than its tracks. Before setting up the machine in muddy or swampy conditions, check that there is a solid base beneath the mud. Using a shovel handle or solid branch, push into the mud. If there is a solid base less than 1.5 feet below the surface, the Polesetter should be able to traverse safely. Always park the Polesetter on flat terrain, never on a slope. In cold weather, park the machine on brush to prevent the tracks from freezing to the ground. With Polesetter, a small crew can drill holes, set poles, and attach wires, all with one machine. The Polesetter is a powerful, compact machine that, when properly maintained, can operate in rough terrain efficiently and, most importantly, safely.